In this Sunday's Liturgy of the Word, we have a new understanding presented to us of the words death and life. In the Book of Wisdom it said that God did not create death, nor does he rejoice in the destruction of the living. You see, death actually entered the world when our first parents, Adam and Eve, sinned against God. And so we know even in a natural way in our human heart that death is not natural, is not the way God intended it to be. Even in our modern times when people use excessive amounts of makeup or things like Botox or spend a lot of money to try to keep ourselves looking young, it's because we don't want to die. We don't want to age and things like that. And so Jesus, however, came to restore us in our understanding of death and life. You see, for Jesus, he conquered sin and death, and he gave us this opportunity of eternal life with God. Death is that passageway to live in union with God in heaven. And so in our gospel this weekend, we see the story of Jairus, whose daughter is sick and dying. And so he asked Jesus to come heal his daughter. When Jesus gets to the house, people are weeping and wailing and say, "Too late, she already died. Don't bother going in there." And so Jesus, however, takes the 3 disciples and the girl's parents and go into the house, and he miraculously heals her. He brings her back to life. And he simply said that she was sleeping. And so again, Jesus restores us in our understanding of death and life. Death is that passageway to God, to eternal life, and not something to be feared. Whereas the real death that we should fear is sin against God and the ways that we separate ourselves from him. And so when we're moving in sin, we're moving away from God. That is the death that we want to move away from. We want to seek life with Christ, life of grace, and strive for that. So my brothers and sisters, I propose to you 2 things for this week. Number 1, ask God for a deeper understanding of the seriousness of sin and those things which take us away from him, and to help us to move in a deeper way in the life of grace and union with him. And then secondly, I invite you to do a good confession, to do a good examination of conscience, of your consciousness, and the ways that maybe you've separated yourself from God. Bring those back to him for healing and restoration, and to live in union with him on earth as you were created to live with him in heaven. God bless you.